Hi folks, Martin Hood, attorney here again. Today we're going to chat about roadblocks and firearms. I've heard all the stories about roadblocks. I share your pain. I share your frustration. I know about the corruption. We're going to talk about how to behave and respond and what you have to do at a roadblock. First of all, you have to cooperate. Be polite, be patient. Not all police officers and law enforcement officials are dishonest. They have a job to do and they're probably just as frustrated as you are because they get abused by the public on a regular basis. So be polite, be cooperative, be patient. If you can, have a dash cam in your car. If you can't, put your cell phone on record so it at least records any audio. There are two types of roadblocks. One is the big roadblock where the entire road is closed off and there's many vehicles. That has to be sanctioned by a permit issued in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act. It's normally the power is given to a station commander, and he in turn can then delegate it to police officials or law enforcement officials. Those are the sort of roadblocks that are legitimate, where you're not in all probability going to be asked to pay a bribe. You don't have to pay your fines at such a roadblock, just by the way. You can say, thank you very much, I'll pay them when I actually get them. Those ones are not the ones that we should be too concerned about. It's the ones that are roadside stops where there's one or two traffic cops. That's where the majority of corruption and intimidation takes place. Those are the ones that you need to be careful of, because that is where the police, law enforcement officials abuse their powers. They say, you can't do this, you can't do that, give me your firearm, and so on. This is what you've got to do. When it comes to carrying a firearm, you have to keep your license with you. So a police official, in terms of Section 107 of the Firearms Control Act, a law enforcement peace officer official is included, can ask you to produce your license. They can ask you if you have a firearm. And obviously you should say yes, because you don't want to be searched and then they find a firearm, they're going to have major difficulties with that. So tell them up front, yes, I've got a firearm. And if they ask you for the license, show them the license. They have to identify themselves. That's also in terms of Section 107. They must have an official peace officer or law enforcement identity card. They can ask you to inspect the firearm. My interpretation of that is you don't have to hand the firearm over. My recommendation is that you don't. I don't like guns in the hands of law enforcement officials. You can just show them the serial number and say, compare it to the license. In my view, that complies. If you hand over the firearm, that's a recipe for potential problems. Tell them I said that. They can also give you a hard time about why a firearm is not in a holster or not on your person. Your motor vehicle is your private personal space. All you have to do is be in control of your firearm. I know all about the threats, Hammanskraal, Pretoria Metro, we know about you, where they say, oh, your firearm's not on your person, we're going to arrest you. It's not an offense, it's not arrestable. And they extort a bribe. 1,000 rand is the going rate. Pretoria Metro. Stand your ground. Say, I'm sorry, I haven't committed an offense. Can I phone my lawyer? I'm not going to accept this. Let's go to the police station. Let's write it out. You give me the fine or charge me, I'll deal with it in due course. But it's not an offense. Don't be intimidated by a policeman or law enforcement official saying, you've committed an offense, we're going to fine you. Say, fine, do it. Be polite, be cooperative, be patient, be understanding, and most importantly, be safe.